Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with a November 2015 vinyl find video. I've got a fairly healthy stack. People go, "Oh, a lot of records, but you must spend a lot of money or something." And the answer is, God, no, I don't have a lot of money to spend, like a lot of you. First of all, before we get this started, we're 2 days before Thanksgiving. I'd like to wish everybody out there who celebrates it a happy Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, of course, is Black Friday. Don't get yourself killed out there. It's just not worth it. I know Record Store Day is happening. I may actually partake and go to it at my local record store. I may actually do it. I'm not a big fan of Record Store Day. Simply not the concept, but how it's kind of turned out. I'm not going to get into that, but I've actually thought about it, and I may go and see what I can find. Who knows? Anyway, if you do go hunting, happy hunting. A lot of these are very inexpensive. I mean, a bunch of these I got for 50 cents. Um, that doesn't mean they're not good, though. So anyway, let's go through this pile, shall we? All kinds of music in here as well. Soul. There's some funk. There's folk music. There's Christmas music. There's just all kinds of other stuff. I do have some Elvis albums that I'm going to show in another video, which I'll make pretty soon. I just want the Elvis stuff to be Elvis stuff, because Elvis is Elvis. Anyway, Ronnie Dyson, 1970. This is a really good album from Ronnie Dyson. I don't know much else he does. I mean, I know the one song off of this, the title track, but nice stuff. Guy's got a great voice. Some folk music. I didn't categorize these at all. I'm just, the pile is here and we're going to go through them. I really like this album a lot. Peter, Paul, and Mary live. This dates back to, I haven't looked it up, and I'm guessing, one, by how they look, and two, by the Columbia record label. 64, 65. I'm going to look this up when I get a chance and just see how close I was. But I'm guessing 64, 65 in that ballpark. Great record. Really, really good record. I already said that. This is a classic album that I got for $1 because there was a scuff mark on one of the sides. And it looks severe. And I'm thinking, well, I'll pick it up and I'll see what happens. Don't hear it at all. It's just one of those deals. This is a second pressing from 69-ish or so. This is great stuff. Count Basie, Frank Sinatra. Like I said, this is the second pressing. This isn't the first. It's in stereo. This is such a great record. I've seen this. I believe this has been repressed on, like, your 180 gram vinyl, whatever. But this is close to an original pressing. And like I said, if you look at it, you go, oh man, that's too bad. There's a hefty scuff mark here. This isn't going to work. You just never know with records. It's kind of weird. This is a new release, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to listen to this yet. I've just been going through so much, but I'm really looking forward to this. This is a Queen release, but it's not the box set. I'm happy for all of you that have that. Maybe someday. I've got most of that stuff anyway, just not on pretty vinyl, redone by Mr. Ludwig, But this one, Queen live at the Odeon. If you're a Queen fan, if you're a big Queen fan, you know this. This has been bootlegged for years and years and years and years and years. And the bootleg sound is not all that bad compared to, considering, or, where you got it from. You have a 50 generation cassette of it. Yeah, it's going to sound like crap, but there was some CDs that were circulating that sounded really, really good. I'm sure this sounds wonderful. Very well done packaging. I'll let you know. Maybe I'll do a review of this one. Thinking about it. From December of Christmas time. Well, in England, they don't have Christmas. They have Boxer Day, but a couple days before Boxer Day for them. Christmas Eve for us here in America. Great show from Queen. Okay. Some more soul music. So it's all over the place. This album I bought, it was cheap, and I was thinking, we'll see what happens. I love the song Groovy Situation. That's honestly why I bought it. And then I listened to the whole thing, and I'm like, this is really a groovy album, you know. Gene Chandler, Groovy Situation, 1970. Gene Chandler, the really big hit, other than Groovy Situation that he had, was the Duke of Earl. He was the Duke of Earl, Gene Chandler. This is a very good album. I felt it was, anyway. Christmas music. This I got for 50 cents, sealed. I've since unsealed it. My wife being the big Christmas nut that she is, but Christmas music anyway. This is a Kenny Rogers Christmas album from '82. So it was sealed until we popped this puppy open. Some more country music. This is another 50-cent deal, and it was. I have a lot of albums by this guy, and I kind of like him. You know, I kind of late '70s, early '80s pop country stuff. Eddie Rabbitt, and this was one of the albums I just didn't have by him. It's actually probably the biggest one he had. You know, I Love a Rainy Night and Driving My Life Away from 1980. It's a good record. Like I said, 50 cents. You know, why not? This is kind of a cool record. Pacific Gas and Electric. And Are You Ready? This is like their third album, I believe. It's the second one on Columbia. And this is an original Columbia 2i pressing as well. I'm not going to take it out, but in very, very nice shape. It's not a bad album. It wasn't quite what I expected it, but once I got my brain wrapped around it, it was pretty good. Anita Ward, yowza, yowza, yowza. It's disco. It was a whole 50 cents. And it isn't bad. This song, this only had 6 songs on it. Is it an EP or is it an LP? I don't know. Mike Post, who did a lot of TV themes. That's where he was known. The Rockford Files, which I was a little disappointed. The Rockford Files is on here, but it's an early 80s re-record. But Hill Street Blues, Greatest American Hero, their original versions, because they were both, of course, issued on the Elektra record label. There's your nice little Elektra, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s Elektra label. Charlie Dore, one of these 50-cent deals. Her first album, kind of British, early 80s British pop. I mean, there's nothing overly dramatic about it, but I find it very, I find it entertaining. The song that people would know her by is on this album, the song Pilot of the Airwaves. A nice song, and I figured if the rest of the album was like that, I'd be okay with it. And the album was like that. It was just kind of a consistently okay record, you know. Oh, Claudette. I'm French, last name Gallant, but I know parlez-vous français too well, huh? But Claudette. Love is Blue. I know that, of course, you've got the instrumental version, that huge hit, but this is the vocal version that got played a lot around here in 68, 69. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I'm sure in France it got played a lot. But I remember it as a child, and I saw that like for 50 cents, and is this what I think it was? I dropped the needle on it when I got home, and I went, I'm 3 again. You know what I mean? I just used to love that song, Love is Blue. Paul Marriott and his orchestra were the ones that had the big hit. I have that album somewhere back here as well. Here's a band that, unless you're from Maine, you don't know. Or you saw The Who at Madison Square Gardens in 1978 because they opened. The Blend. I have this already. I paid $1 for this, and this is their second album. I paid $1 for it, and I figured it didn't. How it looked, you know how it's kind of like, it looked okay, but I'm not sure. But my copy that I had was kind of toast. I figured I'd take a chance for $1, and it played great. It played really, really, really good. Kind of a cool, I don't know how you describe these guys. Maybe Southern rock from Maine, huh? I don't know. But they were a great band. The Blend. Anytime Delight. This is an upgrade in a very nice original pressing of Walls and Bridges by John Lennon. Original packaging, everything in it's there. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. The Ohio Players. This is one of those I've seen so much on YouTube, Facebook pages and stuff. A lot of people have this record, and for good reason too. This is a great record. Just one of those Ohio Player records I didn't have, and I saw it and I went, you know, it was a couple bucks, and I went, okay, honey, by the Ohio Players, some funkiness. Now this next one is funky. Funky. For $2, I went, thank you very much. Rick James, Super Freak. That's not the name of the album, but the album with Super Freak on it. This is Super Freaky. Oh yeah. In nice shape too, for a couple bucks. This one was a surprise. I picked this one up because of one song. Here's a question that I can throw out. Is there a group, and I'm not talking about you guys, not bashing people who just started collecting, but people that have been collecting for years like me, 40 years. Is there a group or an artist that you like, but you don't have anything by for whatever reason? I'd like to know that. If you do have a group that you, for some reason, have just never bought anything by, but you like them, down there in the comments, I'd love to hear about it, and maybe encourage you to go out and buy something. I did it. One of mine was Dave Edmunds. I like Dave Edmunds. Everything I've ever heard from Dave Edmunds, I like. Great guitar player. I saw this really, really cheap. I mean, really, really, really cheap. It's and I thought it had I Hear You Knocking on It. I love that song. Figured kind of from the beginning, and it's him and the band Love Sculpture, which I had I knew he was in a band called Love Sculpture from the 60s. I knew nothing about them. They over here in America, nobody cared. You know, first we'd ever heard was Dave Edmunds was in 70, was I Hear You Knocking. This is a UK pressing on Harvest in awesome shape, but it's Dave Edmunds and Love Sculpture, some Dave Edmunds, some Love Sculpture, A's and B's. It's my first introduction to the band Love Sculpture. I like Love Sculpture. This was nothing like I thought it would be. I thought it would be this rootsy, Dave Edmunds-y kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's this British, Beatlesque, incredibly, not that Dave Edmunds isn't melodic or anything like that, but it just was not what I expected, and I completely loved it. Love Sculpture. Check that band out. I'm going to check out more by them. Check out if you can find this one. This is a great place to start for early Dave Edmunds. If you can, 20 tracks too. Very nice. Okay. Another 50-cent deal. The band Jigsaw. If you were around in 75 in America, I don't know about Europe. I'm pretty sure they were quite popular because I think that's where they were from, was England. The song Sky High. Thought if the rest of the record is like that song, for 50 cents, I'll take it because I really like that dramatic, swirling, orchestrated pop. And there were, a handful of duds on this, but overall it wasn't really a horrifically bad record. I mean, for 50 cents or a buck, especially if you like mid-70s pop music. You see that one? Pick it up. Jigsaw. An Australian folk band. Yeah. That's what these guys were in their original form. The Seekers. This is an original mono pressing for 50 cents. Nice, a nice shape on that. Really nice capital. You guys know that one, huh? Very nice. I mean, Georgie Girl is the big thing from this record, but it was very nice. It was a very nice listen. Haven't listened to this yet. Haven't unsealed it. I found it for a buck. In nice shape. Mac Davis. Yeah, I know. It's kind of what I'm about. I'm a cheesy pop kind of guy. But Stop and Smell the Roses. It's sealed. And I will be opening that. I like Mac Davis. Great songwriter. He wrote In the Ghetto, among a lot of other things. But In the Ghetto is a wonderful song he wrote that Elvis did in '69. This is James Taylor's sister, Kate. 4 members of the Taylor family put out records. And I have records by all of them. Obviously, James and Livingston, but James and Livingston's oldest brother, and I can't think of his name right now. He put out a couple of albums. I have his first album. I picked it up for like 50 cents, and it's a great record. And then there's Kate, this is my second album by her. And she sounds like the Taylor family. She sounds like a little bit higher pitched version of James Taylor. As a matter of fact, there's the Shoop Shoop song they do on here, and she's got James Taylor singing, and it's like you almost have to stop and think, who's singing? But this is, promotional pressing. It was 50 cents. I grabbed it. Why not? Oh, speaking of Livingston Taylor, we've got this Taylor family thing going on. Got a few other albums by him, but I saw this one and thought late 70s, he was really starting to sound a lot more like his brother production-wise. I think his brother had a lot to do with it. I Will Be in Love With You was a song that was actually the song that he's probably most remembered for, and it's on this record. Had nothing by this group, and it was 50 cents, and all right, I like this group. It's country. Early 80s country, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I like these guys. First album by them, Alabama. You can pick these up for a dime a dozen, but I may start picking up some early Alabama albums. Why not? This is from 81. Another Australian band. A couple more records and I'll let you guys go, I promise. These guys were huge in Australia, and, well, they weren't so huge here, but they were a good band. Really, really good band. Those of you who like mid-70s pop, and you're from Australia, you know these guys, Sure, I love that cover, too. Check that cover out. Isn't that cool? One song that dented the Billboard charts called How's That? Great song. They were a good band, But found that for 50 cents. I went, yeah, sure. Last thing, 50 cents, and I'll let you go. Sanford Townsend Band. Only thing I knew by them was Smoke from a Distant Fire from 76. This Be the album. I picked it up for like 50 cents, and I thought, if the rest of the album, and I haven't listened to it yet, but if the rest of the album is like Smoke from a Distant Fire, that's okay with me. All right, kids. So, again, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't get in the way of anybody drinking and driving either. If you've got a little extra money, here's something too. If you guys have some extra money, I see some of you up on the Facebook page spending an awful lot of money on vinyl. And I'm glad that you have it. I hope you're not charging it all. If you are, I'll buy a lot. I'll be buying your Queen box set at a very reduced rate once those credit card payments come in. But no, just a little food for thought. If you've got some money, if you've got all this money to spend on records, it's a good thing. Maybe donate some of that money to a food pantry. Not all of it. I'm not telling you to spend all of your money. You don't got any money? You're like me, you go to and find 50-cent records? Then donate your time. You got that, I'm sure. So just to help make somebody else's holiday really good. And hopefully your holiday is great. Happy hunting on Record Store Day this Friday. And be friendly. Don't be one of those jerks that pushes by everybody to get that Clash album, okay? Because I want that Clash album. No. Anyway, until shortly, actually, until I do my this little Elvis Presley collection update thing. Until then, everybody, peace and love.